able to find a consistent rhythm on the offensive end. I'll expect him to look to get his offensive game going here early. Tessa Georgios as well. And let's get it on. Saturday night, regional rivalry, Alberta, UVic.
Vikes in the Blues here this evening. Jumper by Lejeune will get the friendly roll, so he's off to a good start.
We saw him step out beyond the arc in last night's game, not noted as a shooter, but over his 5 years here at UVic has developed the ability to knock in the perimeter jump shot. High-low action again, nice shot from big Hayden Lejeune.
Miss underneath, Kellum grabs the rebound. Into the paint, kicks it to Lejeune. Nice little jumper again by Hayden, that one of a mid-range variety, 4-0 Vikes.
Mid-range, Sardis, BC, sorry, Chilliwack, BC, Sardis Secondary School. Hayden Lejeune with the touch out of the short corner. 2 for 2, nice start.
Bears suffocated inside there. They'll keep possession, but have just 4 left on the shot clock.
Mentioned Tessa Georgios and his offensive ability. Really, though, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing as far as his defensive effort. Last night's game worked hard defensively, and he can feed off of his defensive energy, hopefully translating into some offensive output.
Too much time taken there by the Bears as they attempted to get a shot off. And 24-second shot clock violation. Good defense by UVic.
Already a better start from UVic, Coach Beaucamp's team. Beaucamp, over his 17 years as the head coach at UVic, noted for his preparation and his understanding of his own teams and the others. No doubt shoot around today and post-game last night, Beaucamp with some choice words for his squad about their energy and their effort.
Georgis. Runner won't go, but nice second effort there by Dominic Oliveri. Vikes coming out with a little bit more kick in their step than they did last night here this evening.
Tessa Georgios with the strong right-hand take, even though he wasn't able to get it to go. The defense is forced to react to the straight line drive. Bigs have to step up. Oliveri able to carve out some space down low. The Whatcom Community College product. Pacific Northwest, now that pipeline continues here for the University of Victoria and Coach Craig Beaucamp. Again, Tessa Georgios playing under control offensively. Sometimes has a tendency to settle for the perimeter jump shot. I like to see him put his head down and get to the tin there and manufacture the opportunity for Oliveri.
See an early sub in here for the Bears as it was number 13, Adam Page of Surrey, BC. And you referenced him coming into the game last night. He'd been the leading scorer through the first 2 weeks as Alberta finally gets on the board there from a shot by Ivan Okemi.
Page is really the prototypical wing player in the modern game. Big body, can guard pretty much every position, 1 through 5. Able to knock down a perimeter jump shot as well, although he got toasted on the dribble by D.O.
We get back to Page. Yeah, he struggled last night in 17 minutes, just 6 points. He'd come in averaged, I believe, almost 18 a game heading into this weekend. So obviously the Vikes did well to minimize his contributions yesterday. Let's see what he does here in his
Page checking in with a double-digit average. Maybe a little bit of jitters yesterday, potentially some family in the crowd. The White Rock, British Columbia native by way of Semiahmoo Secondary School. Coach Ed Lafergie there really developed that program into a regional power in the Lower Mainland. All the way from grade 8 to grade 12, junior boys and senior boys, Semiahmoo now year after year a power in boys basketball. See if Page can find his rhythm here earlier, although he's going to have to work harder defensively to stay in front of Dominic Olivieri, who went right to left.
Seahawks from Semiahmoo, right?
Totems, I believe.
Totems. Oh, sorry.
Seaquam Seahawks would be South North Delta area of the Lower Mainland.
All right, getting all the
you got it.
Mascots mixed up there on the Lower Mainland, my mistake.
No problem. That'll happen. No shortage of secondary schools in the Lower Mainland, and really a hotbed for basketball and individual player development. We've seen not only the post-secondary schools of the Lower Mainland, but the likes of Alberta and UVic benefit from basketball players from that region.
Well, definitely, and of course we referenced last night the connection to Victoria from the University of Alberta was, of course, the great head coach Don Horwood, who won a couple of national championships with the Bears back in the 1990s.
Don Horwood, a coach locally of both Oak Bay and Spectrum Secondary School. Provincial champion with the Oak Bay Following that up with a couple baskets around the paint. Spark plug off the bench. UVic with 12 points already here. Only 13 points in the entire first quarter of last night's game, so much better start offensively and defensively for UVic. You can guarantee Coach Beaucamp, and obviously evidently he's got his team tuned up and ready to play here on Saturday night.
Lejeune gets it over to Ellis, but he was parked off in the key for a little bit too long, so Vikes will turn it over.
You can see that one coming. I think he expected Lejeune to let the jump shot fly. He's been hot thus far. 2 for 2 early on. Ellis trying to establish rebounding position. Got himself caught in that paint for 1 second too long.
Loose ball after that initial miss, finally collected by Kellum.
Keep your eye on number 4 in white, Lars Shemway. He was able to get out and run in transition. He's a smooth operator when it comes to end-to-end basketball, not afraid to attack the rim with speed and intensity.
So Lejeune up to 6 points after that hoop on the other side.
Tyus Jefferson pressing the issue in transition. I thought Kellum did a nice job of moving his feet and keeping his lead hand high. Must have clipped him with the body. And this Alberta team, they're not going to take the pedal or the foot off the gas, pardon me. They got out and running early in last night's game and staked themselves to a lead. UVic's done a nice job of stemming that with some quality offense and some made shots. Believe it or not, when you force the other team to take the ball out of the bottom of their basket and play off the end line, you're able to set yourself defensively. So a good long offense really can establish your rhythm defensively as well against the transition-based offensive team. Nice job overall from UVic here. Awareness both offensively and defensively, and it's amazing what making a couple shots will do for you as a team and your confidence levels.
And Lejeune goes down as he was attempting to work his way into the paint. He gets up all right though. So Alberta's got a...
To our lower mainland products, locking horns on the block there, big bodies, Page and Lejeune. Page got the better of that encounter.
Kellum, nice cut to the hoop. Ellis finds him, gets it to go, 16-5 Vikes.
Good active hands defensively from Scotty Kellum, very cerebral, intelligent player. Weak side cut last time down on offense.
Behind in all of Friday night's matchup, so obviously it's nice to see them playing with a lead here to start Saturday. Here's Mafia with a wide open look, can't get it to fall as he continues to try and work his way out of an early season slump here this evening. But nice second chance given to the Vikes by Hayden Lejeune, and he'll earn it himself and head to the line.
Good activity from big man Hayden Lejeune here, really able to track down the long rebound. 2 power dribbles middle, stay on your strong hand, right hand. Hayden Lejeune earns himself a trip to the free throw line. Good awareness in the full court from UVic there against some token pressure from the team in white, Alberta. UVic able to break it easily and got the open look for Mafia. That's one I think we can expect him to make more often than not, so Coach Beaucamp, I'm sure, won't be unhappy with the miss.
Jumper finally gets a hoop back for the
Andre
Bears.
Kelly with the basket led the charge for Alberta last night, 17 points off the bench, 30 bench points in total for the University of Alberta, so really a well-rounded team effort for them led by Andre Kelly.
Lejeune, another hoop for his troubles, 9 points in the first quarter for big number 11.
Lejeune going to work on Page down low. Chilliwack versus White Rock.
Long deuce there for Adam Page.
He's definitely got a stroke from distance. Nice touch on the basketball rotation, splash through.
Kellum nearly loses it. And that forces a long shot from Hayden Lejeune, the way he's been playing in this first quarter.
I almost
surprised
expected
if he
it to
had a
go
good
in.
effort on it, but falls short.
Scotty Kellum a little soft with the basketball up top there. Got to be careful with active guards like Alberta has, willing to get into you and dig in defensively. Kellum with multiple crossovers at the top of the key. A lot of dribbling without really going anywhere. Coach Beaucamp a little pat on the back for his point guard though, saying keep it up, keep it tight, wing entry pass, and let's get rolling in our offense.
Hayden will go to the line again now for the Vikes. He can get to double digits if he makes one of two shots. He'll have to be on the second as he misses the first.
Like to see the big man hold the follow through a little bit there, pulled the string, dropping the hand down back to his pocket, hold it up, snap to the target, watch it go through. Much better.
And he follows your guide there on the second one. Makes it a 20-9 game for the Vikes as we're under a minute left in this first quarter.
Nice two-man game from Alberta though. McComay to Knutson. Knutson with a relatively quiet double-double in last night's game. He's an effective player for this Alberta team, coming in averaging nearly a double-double, and McComay and Knutson able to play the two-man game in the screen roll last time down.
Nice runner there by Scott Kellum to put the Vikes back up by double digits. But a foul there on the drive by Tyus Jefferson will send him to the free throw line.
Jefferson, fourth-year guard out of Riverton, Utah. Again, we've seen more of an international influence in the Canada West as of late. UVic with players from international players as well. Carlos Costa by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Also Quinn Campbell from Sydney, Australia. So we see more international players turn up in the Canada West and youth sports as a whole, which is, of course, excellent for the game globally and nationally.
Two seconds separate the game and shot clock here. Mafia takes it. Can't get that one to go. And Alberta will get one final chance. Three-pointer at the death by Davy Sunder on the call. One game in the books already here tonight as the UVic Vikes women's team able to gain a victory over Alberta.
Well-played game from the women's team here in the first of two. Able to come away with a victory in a total team effort.
We'll see if both Vikes teams are able to avenge Friday night's season opening.
Slow start from Alberta. You can expect that in Canada West play from the road team, having traveled, played a game, having to get up and play another game on back-to-back nights. Not an easy task in Canada West with some significant miles to travel and time spent on planes. So almost to be expected, a slow start for Alberta. They're going to look to work their way back into this game, and for UVic, they're going to want to keep the foot on the pedal.
Well, look
continue
what I saw
to guard
there from,
hard.
Diego Mafia on the other side. He struggled from the outside in that first quarter, steps in, makes a much more attainable 15-foot jumper there, gets his confidence going. Let's see how that affects his play.
We haven't really seen that aspect of his game as of yet, so nice pickup by you, partner, to recognize his willingness to not settle for the distance jump shot and take the higher percentage look.
Good defensive set there by the Vikes, but nice effort to attain a second chance there by Ashimwe. And another shot in the corner is miss. Alberta really struggling in their shooting game here to begin the night. In that first quarter, just 4 of 15 from the field.
I think they shot about a 40% clip in last night's game, but it was timely makes. We mentioned Dwan Williams with back-to-back threes in the third quarter. Not as efficient thus far in the second night of back-to-backs for the road team.
Another miss, but now another rebound by the Bears. And finally, the Vikes will get a rebound on that miss. So there's 3 extra chances allotted to U of A there, but they can't make any of them, so they're going to have to try and figure out something offensively as they continue to struggle to begin this second quarter.
Looked like maybe a bit of a zone look from UVic there, potentially 1-2-2 or an old school 3-2. Dodged a couple bullets with some misses from deep from Alberta. 37% on this young season from deep. So you don't want to play with fire too long. You want to make sure you identify shooters and get a high hand on those that you need to challenge. Good effort, though, on the backboards, even though they missed a few. UVic Oliveri able to dig out the one that mattered in the end.
Hayden Lejeune tried to continue his hot start with 10 in the first quarter. Rims out on that jumper, but giving him plenty of opportunities to help lead the offense tonight. Oliveri, great defense again. Really like what we've seen out of him defensively this season so far.
For a big man, not afraid to move his feet and challenge at the pinnacle. Oliveri well done defensively. Lead hand high. Jump second. Block the shot.
And there's Mafia trying to work his way into the paint, but he had two bigger defenders waiting there for him.
I like the idea, though, right? It's easy to settle for three-point jump shots. Not always easy to make them all, so get your offensive game going somehow, some way.
Diversifying his opportunities here, it seems, absolutely.
Learning how to score at this CIS West level. It doesn't have to come from beyond the arc every time down.
Mafia still with it, nearly loses it, and it's going to force Lejeune to put up a near prayer from half court. His shooting percentage is going to come down now a little bit because he's had to attempt 2 of those in this first half tonight.
You've been following Twitter too often, the old NBA savior shooting percentage.
Yeah.
1 second after the buzzer, half court chucks.
Foul there, I believe, on the initial sequence that saw Lars Ashimwe assaulted, so he will head to the free throw line to try and bring Alberta a little closer.
Ashimwe, no slouch off the dribble, both in transition and in the half court. He's got long strides and he's quick to boot.
Even from the foul line, though, Alberta seeming like they're having a tough time so far tonight.
Just 68% on this young season for Alberta from the line. Potentially some roof. So you want to make them work for their points. You can't allow them to get out running in transition. Dead ball turnover there. Turnover nonetheless, but at least it's end out of bounds. Alberta walks the ball up the floor. They have to run their offense. Their continuity's not quite there in transition. You make them work for every point that they get, every look that they get, and you'll find more success. UVic able to do that here early. Make Alberta run long offense. Knutson able to draw the foul there, partner, but again, a quality defensive set, just a little left to be desired in the end.
Lejeune gets the foul on that one. It's just his first, so no major issue thus far.
And I thought fairly clean post D as far as body contact was concerned, but a tap on the forearm at the pinnacle there from Lejeune. Tough break.
Big Knutson can't hit either from the line, though, as again, Alberta hasn't been able to formulate any sort of success in any facet offensively here tonight, and that sees them down by double digits in the second quarter. As they're in jeopardy of dropping their first game in this Young Canada West season unless they can find that offensive game. But as much as you want to give them a hard time for not finding it, you got to give the Vikes credit for just playing some great defense through the first 15 or so minutes.
Improved defense and better focus offensively, not only making the shots that have been there, but limiting their long distance attempts. Long shots means long rebounds, means easy runouts. Oftentimes 3-point shots can start the break for the other team, and for a team like Alberta that wants to get out and run, you're better served to pound the ball inside. UVic's done that, played high-low, and made the shots that have been there.
It's almost the same way that, in football, when you want to avoid a big
ball control,
balanced offense the other way that has a lot of weapons, you run the ball, you keep possession of the ball,
stay ahead of the chains,
limit your mistakes, and it's kind of the same way the Vikes have decided to play offensively here this evening.
Same concepts, partner, for sure.
Oliveri, look at nice move, but just can't finish it on the inside. Both teams gone about 2 minutes here without any scoring on the board.
Both teams looking like the second night of a back-to-back in the middle of the second quarter now here. Legs getting heavy.
That look is way too wide open for Jeffrey James, his first points of the evening.
Looked like a little overhelp from the strong side there. Middle ball screen. Couldn't pick up the player for UVic that dug down from the strong side, left the shooter there. Jeffrey James able to knock it in.
Scully trying to squeeze it in to his partner in crime, Graham Hadley. They go back all the way to their time at St. Michael's here in Victoria, playing high school under Graham's father, Ian.
Provincial championships, AA boys basketball for that St. Michael's University school Blue Jags squad. You mentioned Scully, Hadley, local products here from the city of Victoria, now attending the University of Victoria. UVic's done a nice job over the more recent past couple of years of recruiting the hometown high-end talent. Scully, Hadley, Mafia now wearing the blue and yellow. And you like to see that, Coach Beaucamp identifying local talent. Coach,
they're scoring hoop here. 14 seconds on the clock, 2:05 left in this first half.
Pace of play slowed down considerably here in the second quarter again. Second night of back-to-backs.
And again, we've talked about it many times before, Davey, usually so good out of the timeout sets there under Coach Beaucamp, and they work that to perfection, go back up by 13.
Coach Beaucamp, one of the best in the nation, really, with his ATO after timeout sets and actions. Matthew Ellis always seems to be in the right place at the right time, able to lay that ball in comfortably over the front of the rim. I like what he's brought. Energy and effort and scoring punch here tonight for UVic. Looks like a zone look again from UVic. 2-3, extended wing 2-3.
Good movement by the Bears, but some even better defense applied by the Vikes. And there's Testagior just getting in and grabbing it away despite the initial second chance looking like it was going to happen for Alberta.
Great effort, AT, get on the floor and dig that out of there. Again,
Vikes
player noted for his offensive
output,
out
here
but
in this first half too,
been
Davey.
impressed with his defense in the last couple games.
Just letting this clock roll down.
I'd like
here.
to see him get a look here. The right idea, attack and pitch, well done, good look. Settle in defensively now. Stem that transition attack for Alberta, well done from the team in blue, UVic.
Another missed long shot. And Lejeune decided not to risk possibly losing that inbound, so he grabs it. Nice effort. And again, these hustle points really paying off for the Vikes, leading by double digits.
Much improved effort on both ends of the floor for UVic here tonight. Again, understanding similarly to the women's team, the urgency of the second night of back-to-backs at home after you've dropped the opener against a quality opponent. And they all count now in regular season Canada West basketball. UVic with a running long offense of limiting Alberta's transition opportunities and making it hard for them in the half court, making them work for their looks and their points, and they've struggled offensively here tonight.
See what the Vikes can come up with as this shot clock's running down, as Mafia could have probably taken another step in there. Again, trying to force a little bit too much on the outside here.
Clock running down, so it's tough to say one way or the other, but he's had success going to the rim here early. I would like to see, and I do agree, partner, potentially put his head down and look to create something in the paint, or at least an attack and pitch opportunity, even late clock. 2 or 3 seconds is enough to take an extra dribble, pass, catch, and shoot.
Alberta, though there's about 4 seconds separating the game and shot clock, seems satisfied to try and hold this for basically a de facto final shot here. But look, they're going to run out of time on that set. And boy, is that not a microcosm of this first half offensively for the Bears.
I don't think we saw any shot clock violations in last night's game. In fact, most shots for Alberta were taken within the first 10 seconds of the clock.
And Mafia is going to put up a long distance one here. We saw him nearly make one.
Long offense, making shots, of course, helps with that. And Alberta unable to manufacture offense in the half court. So we'll see if the script holds true here in the second half, or if Alberta's able to get out and run, create some turnovers, and make it tough for the home squad.
Vikes will have a turnover to start the second half, and you can hear the Alberta defense very involved.
Turnover number 1.
Obviously trying to will their team on the court on here.
But the one thing I will mention is it's a dead ball turnover, so Alberta's got to take the ball end out of bounds. Takes them 5 seconds to get the ball up the floor, and they're still waiting to get into their offensive action now, almost 10 seconds in to their first possession. So better attention to detail defensively from UVic.
And there's a 3 for the Bears. That brings them back to within 10 points. And in that first half, they were just 2 of 11 from beyond the arc, so that's a good way to start here in the second half.
Alberta definitely didn't shoot the ball that effectively in the first half, coming in at 20% from the field, so we can expect that number to improve as we would for any basketball team of their quality. Start off with the open look from the corner, and they're able to knock it in. Jeffrey James, the hometown product by way of Edmonton, Alberta.
And there's another.
And there's a live ball turnover that UVic wants to avoid.
As UVic now, who led it by 13 at halftime, has allowed the Bears to get back to within 8.
You can guarantee Coach Craddock had some choice words for his players in the halftime. I'm sure, though, this team understanding that the opportunity is there to potentially sweep the road series. Again, good recognition on UVic's part, though, able to get the ball down low to Oliveri, who's really shown some nice footwork down there. Hasn't got the benefit of the doubt on the rim, the hometown rim here in last night's game and for parts of this game, but I like the effort. I like the idea of dumping the ball down low again. Slows the game down, wears on this Alberta team, not the biggest of teams. Right? They don't lack size, but they don't have a depth as far as the forward position is concerned. Again, important for UVic to utilize that advantage. Ellis, Lejeune, Oliveri.
Makes both. Gets the Vikes back up to 10, 34-24.
2-3 zone look again from UVic, which we haven't seen a ton of over the years from Coach Craig Beaucamp. Mostly noted for his willingness to coach a tough mindset, man-to-man defensive basketball team. Even going back to the mid-2000s where we used to play games in the 50s.
And travel called there on Scott Kellum. He's going to protest that it was loosened up by his defender moments before he went up, but
looked like a touch to me from our angle, but again, we're a good 40 feet up here at Carsa as opposed to courtside at McKinnon. No complaints on my part because it's a beautiful arena, but we don't have the benefit of
being right there in the action.
Being right next to the action, although we still have a good look at it.
Now we see the Bears finally starting to find some rhythm offensively. Another basket made there brings them to within 8.
3 of 4 to start the quarter. Dwan Williams with a tough basket. We saw him assert himself offensively in the third quarter in last night's game as well.
And he had 2 quick fouls in this game, so he was pretty inconsequential in that first half tonight. Oliveri gets a second chance, misses. So does Lejeune, he misses. Oliveri another chance. No good. So the Vikes now starting to look a little bit like the Bears on a couple of occasions in that first half. Just not able to get the lid off of the rim there, but Tisvigeorgis picks up a steal. Gains some momentum back for the Vikes. And Kellum thinks about taking the long jumper, but probably rightfully so holds it to set up the offense. Gets a screen from Oliveri. Well hedged there, though, by the Bears. Oliveri will get it on the inside, but again come up short. But this time foul will be called on Cole Knudsen.
I think Coach Craig Beaucamp earned his big man the free throw attempts there. Could see him grinding the officials on the way back down the floor after the last possession where UVic was unable to convert 3 or 4.
Has come out on fire in this third quarter, scoring the Vikes 14-5, and they find themselves down by just 4 points, and they can make it 3 at the line as Brandon Michaeljohn, who checked in here a minute ago.
Played sparingly in last night's game.
He did even early on tonight, but he has an impact play here as he picked up a three-pointer and the foul, so he gets a 4-point play here. His first 4 points of the night. You
see the energy and the enthusiasm from not only the players on the floor for Alberta, but from the bench as well. Clapping with the defensive chant now, and they're recognizing the opportunity they have to potentially sweep 2 out of 2 from UVic. UVic's got to match that energy and that effort here throughout the rest of this second half. Bit of a slow start through the halfway point of the third quarter.
Alberta looked like they had that attitude of playing with, as we see a guy down on the floor here, but you kind of wonder if they playing with house money attitude right now. Down by 13 at the break, you've already achieved the split here this weekend at worst. If you come out and play your game, you still have a chance to gain the sweep. So obviously the players bought into that and now find themselves right back in this one.
I think you're right on it with Coach Craddock's messaging, I'm sure, at halftime, tuning his players into the opportunity that they have here to take two potentially from UVic on the West Coast. Never an easy trip. Getting on the plane on Thursday, playing games on Friday, Saturday, flying out on Sunday can be a whirlwind. This Alberta team with a slow start here on Saturday night, and really much to do with UVic's attention to detail and the effort that they came out with, not only offensively knocking in their open shots, but defensively limiting Alberta's opportunities in transition, but some live ball turnovers. We've noted the difference between live ball and dead ball turnovers throughout both broadcasts now, and some live ball turnovers for the team in blue, the home team UVic, have led to transition opportunities for Alberta, and we're setting up for a good one and for a fun finish here on Saturday night.
That injured Bear was Dwan Williams, who sparked the team off of the bench after a first half that was riddled with a couple of fouls, but now he looks like he'll have to take a break with an injury. They're not sure how he achieved that, didn't see the play.
And Mafia still looking like he's searching for his game out here, searching for his game. You feel like if he can get just one shot to go from beyond the arc, it'll get him rolling and he can make 4 or 5. Still struggling to find the connection from deep.
Alberta can actually draw even here with a three-pointer on this possession. And it'll be Michael John putting it up. Rims out.
Nice athletic rebound from Jason Scully on the weak side.
Hayden Lejeune kicks it back out to Scott Kellum. He tries his hand at a three. No good. Back come the
Long
Bears.
shots, long rebounds. Here comes a Shimway. Better job transition defense there from UVic. Getting back, getting in front, identifying their matchups.
Foul en route to the hoop here. Just the second team foul on the Vikes. 3:26 to go in this third quarter.
Just 5 points thus far for UVic in the third quarter as opposed to 15 for the University of Alberta. A bit of a reversal of fortunes.
For the Vikes, it'll be Oliver. Lejeune will check back in for Ellis.
Change up of the matchups here, well recognized by Oliveri and Lejeune.
And look at the Vikes swarm inside
Good
there.
team help defense.
Shot at the death won't go. And finally taken by Lejeune, and a foul there, I believe, will go against Andre Kelly.
And I tell you what, 2 made threes for Diego Mafia and a big box out last time down there. Keeping them much bigger. Number 5 for Alberta. Shimway, I believe, off the glass that last time down. Sorry, Yikome. Mafia doing work on both ends of the floor, and that's what you like to see from the first-year player. Putting in the energy and the effort in on the defensive end, too.
Mafia over-dribbled a little bit there, and now will pick up a cheap foul in transition.
And that's experience or lack thereof for Mafia. Feeling the flow offensively, wanting to continue to create, but you still have to pick your spots. At the Canada West level, the defenders are too good individually and as a team. This Alberta team knows exactly what they need to do and when they need to do it, and they're not going to let them get going that easily.
And finally, out of bounds, lost. And it'll be the Bears who keep possession. And we'll see a timeout on the floor. Men's team still leading here by 9. 49-40 with 7:50 to go.
Nice switch on the interior defensively by Lejeune and Oliveri.
Move inside there by number 6, Darwin Williams. he went out with an injury there in the third quarter and was missing for a good portion of that first quarter.
Got a brace on the knee that I don't recognize from last night's game, so potentially a knock maybe in the back end of the game, but still finding a way to be effective.
Nice pull-up jumper there by Scott Kellum, as Kellum has struggled on the offensive side of the ball here this evening. But
yeah, that's one of his strong suits, though, that pull-up jump shot game in and around the elbow area. I like to see that from Scotty K.
Page hands it off. Knutson in the corner, back out to Williams. Knutson again, short on that shot. Another good defensive set for the Vikes.
2-3 zone look again from UVic, taking Alberta out of their rhythm offensively in the half court. And if UVic can limit Alberta's transition opportunities, they're going to have a good chance of coming out with a victory here tonight. Again, easier said than done.
Nice follow there by Hayden Lejeune, who came out firing with a lot of offense in that first half this evening at 11 points in the first half. I believe that's his first points since the first quarter.
Oliveri's taken over the scoring lead with 14 points for UVic, but Lejeune hot on his heels now with 13. Well played game thus far from both big men.
And Lejeune trying to save it for the Vikes to move away in transition, but they will say he was out of bounds, so Alberta will get 7 seconds now to make a play here. 6:21 left.
It'll be cross-screening action. I'm sure one of their guards are going to look to sweep an attack off the dribble relatively quickly.
And Scott Kellum trying to fight that one away from DeJuan Williams, but he will be whistled on the foul. Third team foul for the Vikes.
And effort fouls you can accept if you're Coach Craig Beaucamp. Can't fault the energy and the attempt there from Scott Kellum. Still not in the bonus yet, so 14 seconds to work with for Alberta.
Eventually rebounded by UVic, but might be called on the foul first.
One of the perils of playing a 2-3 zone defense is that it can be difficult to identify box-out responsibilities and rebounding responsibilities. Knutson recognizing that on the offensive glass, able to elevate and corral that long rebound off the three-point shot.
Williams misses the three, or pardon me, that was Kome. But again, Alberta gets a second chance here. You're going to have to start preventing those if you're the Vikes. Can't allow a good team to keep getting extra opportunities, but Alberta's lack of production offensively in the shooting game tonight has allowed the Vikes to remain ahead despite a good night on the offensive boards as they've picked up
Alberta's struggled from the
double-digit
field thus
offensive
far.
rebounds for both teams here tonight, so it's been board city on the offense.
Just 4 of 20 from beyond the arc for Alberta here tonight, so potentially some tired legs. Again, a long trip, West Coast double. As far as you can go in this great country we call Canada to Victoria, BC.
And a nice move underneath by Oliveri, now up to 16 points tonight.
Little how do you do underneath.
He's been doing it in all facets of the game tonight, partner.
I like what I've seen from D.O. Pressing the issue in a good way. Not settling for the jump shot, working his way to the painted area with some skill and some force.
And now Aaron Tesfagiorgis picks up a jump ball there. Nice hustle play again, and that's really where the Vikes, if they do hang on here tonight, have won this game. Davey is in all those hustle moments, and they've been able to really come up strong in those types of plays.
Huge improvement in the energy and the effort necessary to win basketball games here tonight. Again, it could have been, as we take a break here to recognize.
And we've got
Craddock not happy.
Ejection, it looks like now, is
with some choice language and a double technical.
Picked up an initial technical and would not.
Dwan Williams also not happy on the floor, voicing his displeasure. Surprised he hasn't picked up a technical as of yet. But I think Coach Craddock's been ejected from this basketball game.
He has. And now he'll be forced.
Looking to get to
head
that
to the
ferry buffet
sideline.
early. Giving the officials one more piece of his mind on the way out to the tunnel here.
And so he'll have to see the last 5 minutes of this one from the dressing room.
It's been a physical basketball game. I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary, though, as far as Canada West basketball is concerned.
So now it'll have to be
regional rivals are going to bring physicality to the game.
Kent
Coach Craddock.
Johnson. Kent Johnson will have to take over coaching duties down the stretch here for the Bears in the last 5 minutes
gonna
tonight.
Step up here. Coach Craddock, once he got going, he wasn't stopping. He saw that he got that first technical, but that didn't deter him from speaking his mind on what he thought was some injustice as far as that jump ball call. Looked like a tie-up in my eyes. But
Looked like a fairly clean play, but it might have been a
again, as a former
combination
coach,
of that and some other plays that he didn't like as far as the call selection was concerned tonight.
we're never wrong, and we think our players are fouled every time. So I can understand a bit of the plight for Coach Craddock. Nonetheless, an early shower for Coach.
And it's going to be a foul called against Williams,
Vaughn Williams,
I think.
still
And now he's
demonstrative.
going to get a technical, so it looks like the Bears aren't going to go down without a fight here tonight as far as that is concerned.
Could see that one coming from a mile away. Dwan Williams been voicing his displeasure since that jump ball called, and he felt maybe there was some excessive contact, not only on the body but on the arm too. And Williams, as Coach Craddock was exiting this game, Williams was giving the officials a piece of his mind, and continued to do so as he picked up a foul on the perimeter there. Looked like a body bump to me, but again, sometimes when emotions get the best of us, we lose control of our verbal abilities. And Vaughn Williams taking a seat at the end of the bench after picking up the technical foul.
Well, and that was his 5th personal, so he's done for the night.
He's going to call it a night early as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be an illegal screen there on Hayden Lejeune. I think it's the right call. Wasn't quite set there.
Definitely moving. Tough one. Scotty Kellum going to have to take the blame there. Got a little too early. Left to right cross. Lejeune wasn't quite set. Smart call from the officials here. Don't want to let this game continue to get too out of hand. 15-point plus lead for the UVic Vikes here. Not necessarily quite out of contention yet.
Quick basket there. That'll help the
We'll
Bears.
see if the emotion can be channeled by the team in white Alberta, if they can make one last push.
I think that was Coach Craddock's final, piece of advice for his team. I just went to bat for you guys. Now will you go to bat for me in the dying minutes, trying to spur them on down the stretch here, but it's an uphill battle to say the least.
And UVic can stay the course with long offense and high-low. They're going to have the advantage down low with one big or the other. Again, this Alberta team plays with essentially one forward, 4 guards, 1 forward. UVic's noticed that, identified that, and been able to take advantage with their 2 forward sets, more of a traditional point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center personnel grouping for the University of Victoria, and it's worked to their advantage tonight with their high-low game.
Oliveri misses the second free throw, but right there to follow it is Lejeune as the 2 bigs continue to lead the way offensively and pretty much in all parts of the game here tonight. It's been Hayden Lejeune and Dominic Oliveri, the 2 standouts for the Vikes this evening. There's a quick 3, though, back for the Bears. That was Max Russell. I don't think we've seen him at all in the
first time I believe we've seen him this weekend, but doesn't look
this
scared.
weekend, but plays it well there with a 3-pointer. Desfigurgis misses. Scully not able to corral that rebound. Looking for a second straight 3, and look at that, 6 quick points from Max Russell. That might still keep the Bears alive down the stretch.
And you got to be careful if you're UVic here. Don't get away from what has worked thus far throughout this game here on Saturday night. That's been long offense. That's been high-low. That's been hammering the ball inside. I don't fault Tesfa Georgios for taking the 3 there, but again, be better served to take shots in the back end of the shot clock here and not let Alberta speed you up.
And Tesfik-Georges just able to get it over half.
Again, playing a little fast here in the half court for you, Vic. Good awareness from Scott Kellum. Pull the ball out.
Kellum with the jumper, and Scotty Kellum didn't have the greatest offensive weekend for much of these two games, Davey, but got a couple of big shots to fall in this fourth quarter here tonight.
That's really where Scotty Key excels, on the catch and shoot from distance and or off the dribble, on the pull-up action around the elbow. Nice awareness and intelligence from Scott Kellum, pulling the ball out, running long offense, screen roll, middle of the floor, knocks in the pull-up.
That's Kellum's fourth, so he'll have to be careful not to.
And you don't have to
pick up a
reach
fifth
there,
here.
make Alberta make difficult shots. Bailing out the shooter there with the reach and the swipe in the end. I know the floor's made of hardwood, but it's never worthwhile to swing the axe defensively.
1 of 2 made at the line there for Alberta. Under just 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this one.
Similarly to the women's game, UVic's going to have to be aware for the full court pressure, not run away from the ball. Hands ready. Middle screen roll again.
Kellum. No good. Scully trying to go up and over his defender there, but it is eventually rebounded by the Vikes, though Hayden Lejeune can't retain it.
And again, you'd like to see Lejeune just take a deep breath there, try and pull that basketball out. The clock is in your favor, the score is in your favor. I know he was pressured, but no need to rush.
Three-pointer's no good, but a second chance given. But neither can drop there for Ikome. Tesfik-Georges cuts into the paint. Scully from beyond the arc, no good. Oliveri fighting against 3 Bears, almost coming away with it. And there's Aaron Tesfik-Georges again here. And is he going to gain another jump ball out of this? I think this time might whistle him on the foul.
This exchange of words on the floor there between Knutson and Tesfik-Georgios. Tesfik-Georgios giving up some size and weight to Knutson, but yeah, I'm sure the reach advantage might go to AT. And again, been a struggle offensively for Tesfik-Georgios as the conversation continues, but I really appreciate and like what I've seen from him defensively. Player noted for his ability to get steals. He's really mixed it up here and not been afraid to hit the floor in that case and dig that ball up off the ground. Possession arrow favors Alberta, but I love the effort from AT. Something that I'll never forget, not only playing basketball with Eli Pasquale and against Eli Pasquale here locally, but my 2.5-year-old son looked at me today as we were watching the live stream and all the messages and that were being conveyed and stories that were being told, and he's just still learning to speak, 2.5 years old, and he said a word that I've never heard from him before. He said, teammate. Teammate, Daddy. And I thought, wow, the reason why he said that is because of all the teammates that were on the stage speaking to what a great teammate Eli Pasquale was. And for my son to look at me and say, teammate, Daddy, that was totally cool and something that I'll never forget. Not only the memories and experiences that I've had playing against and with Eli Pasquale here locally, but those speakers, and we'll just go through the list here. Father Bruce John Hamilton, former teammate. Brother Vito Pasquale. Bill Morris, his high school coach at Lockerbie High. Ian Hidley, current assistant coach, former teammate. Phil Ohl, Steve Nash in the house here in Victoria, speaking to the idol, his idol, Eli Pasquale. And again, left us far too early, but the legacy and the memories will last forever. Eliseo Enriqueo Pasquale, forever remembered. UVic Vikes, Canada basketball. Thank you, Eli.
Thank you, Eli, exactly. And obviously, always missed but never forgotten will be the legacy that Eli Pasquale leaves here with the Vikes. And obviously, as we also mentioned, Steve Nash, part of the who's who of Vikes and Victoria basketball greats there today. And I mentioned it last night as we see Hayden Lejeune put a cherry on top of this victory for the Vikes. That I don't think it's a coincidence that Eli Pasquale's number 13 hangs in the rafters here at Carsa, and Steve Nash wore number 13 in the NBA. Just saying. Basket made there by the Bears. We'll make it a 9-point game, but with only 25 seconds left, looks like Alberta's quest to stay undefeated here tonight will fall a little bit short, as the Vikes do indeed pick up a split against a very strong Alberta team. Obviously, you'll have to take it where it's given, and they were able to come away with a great performance, a bounce-back game for the Vikes, as they now will head on to their next series here next weekend against the Brandon Bobcats, all even at 2-2 on the season, as the UVic